Hi, I'm Dr. Rudy Cashman. Good afternoon. We're going to have a great show here today on the very interesting subject, and I have a guest with me today who is sort of co-host here, the pastor from the Destiny Life Center, Pastor Karen Staton. We've done 2 shows before, and this is our 3rd one. And I just want to compliment you today in the way you dressed, Pastor, because we both came in green.
We certainly wasn't
but St. Patrick's Day was on Monday. Anyway, welcome to our show.
Good positive color. Green vegetables are reminded.
Hey, I didn't even thought of that. This is what we recommend, and we dressed accordingly.
Yes.
Maybe next time we'll come with celery or broccoli.
Oh, that's
well, let's have a little fun here. But what we really have in mind here is to bring good health to the community.
Yes.
You know, from other shows, I speak mainly about wellness. But we're specifically aiming at this time to make people healthy, because type 2 diabetes rate, 1 out of 3 people right now is type 2 diabetes, and is heading to 1 out of 2. So we look at this as a wellness program, and we've sort of adopted the Daniel Plan, and I like it because it's tied to religion.
Yes.
And to give you a little background, if you hear other shows, is that the Reverend Rick Warren out in San Francisco, he has about 20,000 members, and he wrote that great book called The Purposeful Life. And he was baptizing his people one time, and he noticed, wow, we're all overweight, and he decided to do something about it. And he then, like out of the Bible, formed the Daniel Plan, which some of us are familiar with.
Yes.
Being in the Bible.
Yes.
And with that, before we go further, Reverend, could you lead us in a short prayer? Because this plan is about faith, food, fitness, focus, and family. So I want to tie this to spirituality and prayer. And with that, Pastor, could you start us with a prayer?
I certainly would be delighted to. And one of the things I love about 3 John and 2, it says, I pray, my friends, that you be in good health and prosper even as your soul prospers. So we are just praying today that the viewers and that you and the listeners will be in good health, and that God will give them the insight, the wisdom, and the knowledge to be able to eat properly and live vibrant lives that He had intended all along.
Thank you, Pastor. Because we need help. We all need help doing this to change a habit or a way of eating. For one thing, it's teaching. You have to learn what's correct. But God gave us this wonderful body, and our body has a doctor, I truly believe, living within us that knows how to heal us through God. And he's watching us, and for us to abuse our body, we know that's not right. So I like this combination of the Daniel Plan of faith and food and fitness and focus. And friends. It takes a community of people.
Yes.
This is what in the Daniel Plan is a really big thing, to establish a community of people around you. Maybe one friend. We plan to carry this into the community.
Yes.
Right, Reverend?
Yes, we're planning that now. We're making bringing people together to do that.
Yeah, we're working on this, and we have about 8 or 9 ministers from the city that we're having dinner with tomorrow night.
Actually,
night, to make plans that on May the 9th, we plan to have a kickoff at the public library here.
Library here. Actually, that's May 10th on Saturday morning, 11 to 1.
11 to 1.
We're going to have our
May
launch. 10th,
11 to 1. We're going to have a kickoff with the annual plan. The public's invited, and it's free. And we plan to have some vegetables and hummus and things like that available for free.
Yes,
just to give you some idea of good foods.
And what kind of foods we can eat. So because people just need to be educated. When you know better, you do better. Yeah. Many times.
You're exactly right. Because I've been, I was a neurosurgeon for 44 years, just retired from that, but I'm now the wellness director at Lufkin Hospital. I'm so glad to have that job because it's where my passion is at.
Well, you're the perfect person for it, that's for sure.
Thank
You're
you.
Dr. Wellness for real.
Thank you.
No doubt.
And actually, I've written 15 books on the subject.
Wow.
About prescriptions and pain and stress. You can get them on Amazon. And And so it's passionate for me. But I saw so much illness over the year of people that I felt the majority of the time, you know, it didn't take a prescription, it didn't take a procedure. You know what it took? A loving coach.
Oh, yes.
People need to be coached. And this is really what we plan to do. So we like to tie this really to prayer and spirituality. And remember our motto, 7 hugs a day.
7 hugs a day. That's touch therapy. Yes, second touch a day.
Touch.
Yeah, and if you're sick,
if
you're sick, you need 11.
You need 11 if you're sick.
If you're 11, if you're sick.
I have a feeling you found this somewhere.
Yeah, I did. I read. I got to find the book. I read it in. Yeah.
Maybe it was the Bible. Well, let's speak a minute about food. I mean, are there some easy things that we could do? And you know, I've written a number of books on it, and do know quite a bit about it now because I've read so much about it and practice it. I eat the way they do, and I notice, Reverend, you eat the way we talk. So this is great. You know what I mean?
Yes, I've really been taking it since I've been on the Daniel plan. I've lost like 6 pounds already.
Congratulations!
So I couldn't even get in this suit. That's why I was so happy to wear it today, not knowing you were going to wear green.
Congratulations!
Thank you. Eating good vegetables, good nutrition.
I think
fruits.
The real enemy. Our biggest enemy really is a lot of things people need to change is sugar.
Oh.
Sugar is the main thing. Sugary drinks would be number 1 on the list.
Yes.
50% of obesity is caused by sugary drinks, and especially with high fructose corn syrup. They took the corn and it's Japanese invented a certain enzyme. They invented and converted to fructose corn syrup, which is very rapidly absorbed, very cheap because the government pays for the price of corn to the farmers. Sure. That made it cheaper than regular sugar, and they made drinks out of it. This is full of this fructose. And let me explain to me why I think sugar is our main enemy. Sucrose, which is table sugar, is half glucose, okay? Mm-hmm. Glucose, we need it for energy. It enters our bloodstream. 20% goes to the liver, 20% to the brain, so our brain is working. Mm-hmm. And then the other 60% goes to our muscles for energy. Mm-hmm. If you eat just too much of it, it can be converted to fat, but that's not that common. But the other half of the sucrose molecule, which is 50%, you wouldn't believe this. A lot of people don't know it. I don't think I always knew it. I asked a recently graduating med student here recently I was having lunch with, and she didn't know it. And she just graduated med school. The other half is fructose.
Fructose.
The same sugar in fruit.
You see that a lot in products. A lot of
fructose. And fructose goes to the bloodstream, but then goes to the liver, sucks up energy molecule ATP, and is converted to very low density LDL. That's our fats in our blood that is able to go in our blood vessels and cause arteriosclerosis. Mm-hmm. Atherosclerosis.
Really?
Yeah. It's caused by the fructose. It's not the fat. Interesting, isn't it?
Fructose.
That's
very interesting.
Isn't that very interesting? So that's the reason I'm sort of an enemy of sugar, because it makes, and then causes insulin resistance and leptin resistance, which makes you fat.
Oh.
Which makes you fat.
So,
so to avoid fructose is a big thing. But what about fats in the diet? We need some fats. There's some essential fatty acids we need to eat. When essential means that normally the body doesn't make it.
I see.
So and that's where you hear the terms omega-3, which is the anti-inflammatory. Remember, people say take some fish oil supplements, so eat some fish or eat some nuts or vegetables, because it has these omega-3s in them, which are very healthy. We need those. The anti-inflammatory. Then you have omega-6s, which are pro-inflammatories, okay?
I see.
Yeah, and where do you get those from? Well, to eat some beef, for example, that has been raised on a farm and fed corn instead of natural grass, they make the omega-6s, which are pro-inflammatory, and make you sick. If you buy fish that was raised in a pond instead of in the ocean, it's full of omega-6s.
From the feed.
from the feed.
I see.
Yeah, the fish that are
Wow.
raised in a pond,
Oh,
a
we
lot
eat
of
a lot of
times
fish from a pond.
oh yeah.
You never know what you get.
The products they dump in there just to fatten the fish up, and then you eat it, and it's full of inflammatory factors instead of the salmon naturally out of the ocean.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's
That's a
important to
real
ask the
education.
waiter, is this fish from the ocean or from a farm pond? If you do that, that'd be all right.
It's okay to ask.
It's
huh?
okay to ask because you may be surprised. They may call it, fish from a Scottish farm, and then you say, "Where's it really from?" It may be from a Scottish pond. I've done that before, and it's not from the ocean. So you got to ask because it's pro-inflammatory instead of anti-inflammatory. The reason we have so much vascular disease, so much dementia, so much cancer, so much autoimmune disease is because our body is inflamed. When I look at a person, say, weigh 200 pounds or so, and they've been eating a lot of the omega-6s
Yeah.
or a lot of fructose in their life, to
Right.
me, that body is on fire.
Uh-huh.
It's
Wow.
inflammation in the arteries causing strokes and vascular disease and cancer and autoimmune diseases. So we like you to eat some good essential fatty acids. So all fat is not bad. I mean, if you're way overweight and you're eating a lot of fatty foods, that even if it's friendly fat in general, that's high calorie. You're going to gain weight. You know what I mean? But fat will not raise your blood sugar, for example, very much. So, but sugar, bingo, the insulin level goes up, and insulin is what you call an anabolic hormone. It lays down fat. Because it stimulates leptin. Leptin lays down fat.
I see.
Lays down fat.
Ah,
And that's
boy,
the
what an
reason you don't
education
want
I'm
that
getting.
blood sugar raised up. And the fructose also causes leptin resistance. Leptin doesn't work anymore, and it won't stop the laying down of fat. That's really the trouble. So we want to eat some fat in our diet, but it has to be good fat.
About how much of it good fat should we eat a day?
That's a good point. How much fat should you eat per day? I think I would take a supplement for one thing of some EPA and DHA. Those are essential fatty acids that increase the speed of nerve conduction of your heart and your brain.
Nice.
These are called the eicosanoids. Before we had developed a circulatory system, the living things at that time, we didn't have a heart and lung. The way they conducted information through the body is through these eicosanoids, the 18, 20 carbon atoms, and they jump from cell to cell. It's a way of communicating. And cholesterol isn't quite the enemy that we thought it was.
We think it is.
Yeah, the high density. The low density, remember I said the entity?
Yeah.
But you can look at it, and if you see it on Dr. Oz show, he's got this little balloon, the medium balloon, the big balloon. The big balloon is the good LDL that floats through the blood and doesn't bother anybody. You need it in your brain. You need it in the cells of every cell of your body has some cholesterol and fat in it. Has some eicosanoid and cholesterol in it. So we need some of these in our 7 trillion body cells. It's the little balloon, the very low density LDL caused by fructose that you don't want, because in aging, a little bit injured arteries, those little molecules dig into the intima, the covering of the vessels, and cause atherosclerosis.
Wow.
That's critical to know that.
Oh, that is very critical.
That's very critical.
Just the fact that it's digging in there and getting into a weak spot, that's not good. That could cause a problem.
Yeah, it absolutely could cause a problem. You should probably be eating. Let's look at a plate of food, for example. 1/2 should be vegetables, okay? Then another quarter of the plate could be complex carbohydrates. What we mean by that is like a baked potato, or a sweet potato, or a carrot, where they have a carbohydrate sugar chains are very complex, not just a simple sugar chain in there.
So that'd be like your starchy vegetable.
Exactly, and it has fiber in it. You got to chew the darn thing. And the other quarter of the plate, maybe some protein, some nuts, some beans, some tofu. I didn't say you don't eat any meat products, but make sure it's organic meat. Be sure that beef was raised on organic farm, was fed grass. The way you do organic farming today, what do? They feed them grass for 6 months, then they put them in a cage, teach them how to eat corn, which has been...
This is the same corn you've been talking about.
I've been talking about.
Yeah.
And try to avoid, that. It's about 50% complex carbohydrates. So we have half the plate vegetables, a quarter plate complex starchy carbohydrate food, and some lean protein. I mean, to have some turkey or some chicken that hasn't been fried, for example, I think it's healthy. And you have to look at your situation. I mean, if you have advanced heart disease and you've had coronary bypass surgery and you've had angioplasties and you look in the Grim Reaper in the eye, I think I would be a good 90, close to 100% of a vegan type diet.
Okay.
You don't eat milk products. You don't eat meat products. You want to live because
you're trying to,
Dean Ornish proved that those diseases.
And you're trying to reverse some things.
We're trying. Thank you.
Yeah, reverse.
Reverend, you got it. We're trying to reverse disease at that point, and it's been proven. Dean Ornish and Dr. Esselstyn published all kind of papers that vascular disease is reversible. But you got to get serious about it, and you have to, make a commitment.
And eat the proper,
eat the proper
food, the diet, eat the proper kind of foods.
Anything you'd like to add to that? I think we summarized a little bit about the good fats and the complex carbohydrates, and we all need some protein. A person should have about 0.5 grams per kilo of body weight of protein per day. So it's about 50 grams. About 50 grams of protein, and keep track.
And you can get that protein from.
You can get that from soybeans, tofu, from nuts, from egg whites.
Egg whites. I had egg whites. I've really learned to like egg whites.
Quite a bit of protein actually in nuts, for example. Oh yeah. Broccoli.
You can't eat too many of them because they will blow you up. I said that after
You'll get over
last
that.
Christmas.
Definitely, about 3 weeks you're over that. 100 calories of broccoli have more protein in it than 100 calories of beef.
No way.
People don't know that.
Never think that's true.
It is absolutely out of a book.
Broccoli
absolutely true.
has more protein.
Yes, but you got to eat more of it.
Wow, and I love broccoli.
We're talking about calories. Yes.
Broccoli's good stuff.
So a person, frankly, doesn't need to eat animal meat. You do not. No. The only thing you'd be missing, you say, oh, it's not a complete protein. That's been disproven. Maybe a little B12, but you take it as a supplement, and that's not even necessary. You get it in other foods. So plant proteins actually are quite good. And then we need to practice some fitness. And I'm going to do another show here shortly, actually. I'd like to bring it up. Do we all need to belong to a gym for fitness? No, only 10% do. A lot of people don't have the time. Some people can't afford it. I encourage it. I work out an hour every day, and I know you work out, take a walk. But some people just absolutely don't have the time, the inclination, or they're too sick. But you can improve your non-exercise activity thermogenics. That's called NEAT. Non-exercise activity thermogenics. What does that involve? How much exercise you get at work, doing your housework, your play activity, dancing, playing music, walking the stairs instead of the elevator. Those are all NEAT activities. Non-exercise activity.
Looking for the closest parking lot to the door.
Exactly.
Park out a little ways
exactly.
And walk in,
like you told me the other day that you brought in your groceries half at a time, so you had to walk twice.
Yeah.
So if you were to say burn 200 extra calories a day with NEAT activities, you know what that is at the end of a year, Pastor? 20 pounds.
20 pounds. That's
20 pounds.
That's significant.
So to me, this I'm going to give a talk on this shortly. It'll be on YouTube also.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And people look at this because that's not emphasized enough to improve our NEAT activities. The lady cut my hair yesterday, kind of made me think of it. She's 5-6 hours a day standing there. Sitting, you burn 5 calories. Standing alone, because of the muscles you need to stand, 15 calories an hour. Now, look at a hairdresser here. Yeah, she's walking around the place, wash her hair, the thing she did with me, and then cuts the hair, and all her arm movements, and standing all day. I bet she burns 500 calories a day at least in her. That's NEAT activity, okay?
NEAT activity.
Yeah.
That's
So
something to
a
think
basic
about.
metabolic rate burns up a bunch of our calories, but it's hard to vary that. Matter of fact, if we're bigger, we burn more of that because it takes more muscle to stand. Then another 15% in digestion, so 40% of our calorie burn every day is NEAT activity. Okay,
40%.
40%.
That's quite a bit.
That's quite a bit.
Yeah.
So it can vary 20 to 50% depending on a person paying attention to it. I noticed at the Starbucks yesterday there was actually a very fit girl standing there with an empty chair next to her. She stood up the whole time for an hour typing away on her computer. Maybe that's why she was thin.
Maybe
because
why.
that's a neat activity.
That's a neat
versus sitting
when
there.
She could have been sitting.
Yeah.
Yeah, like most of us would have been.
So
I
I called
probably
the
would've
show
been
I'm going to do
a
in this.
sitter.
I call the sitting disease.
Uh-huh.
We're starting to talk about that. It's kind of
That's interesting.
isn't that
That'd
very
be a good
interesting?
show. That'd be a good show.
You know, I think that'd
Yeah,
be a neat
yeah.
show. And then part of the Daniel plan is going to be we want people to have a friend to make a commitment. You know, this is
Yes.
what I want to do to be healthy.
And start joining with their friends and
Yeah.
talking about it
Yeah,
now.
this is no judgment zone. This is a no judgment
Yeah,
zone. We're
I
talking
mean-
about getting healthy here.
Healthy.
We're not talking about people's weight or anything like that. We want you to be healthy, live a long life. But the way most of
Make
America
memories.
is doing today,
Yeah.
we see so much hypertension, diabetes, all these chronic illnesses are stoppable, preventable, and
Wow.
reversible. And that's why I'm sitting here with the Reverend, and we're going to push this big time. I hope you come to our meeting.
Our
on-
launch,
our launch on May the 10th from 11 to 1,
11 to 1, right here at the library.
right here at the library,
Yes.
and it's free.
It's
and we're going to
free,
have some
you know.
hummus and vegetables.
It's gonna be a great time.
Available, and explain to
And
you what
bring
you
a
do.
friend so you'll have a partner.
Yeah, and bring a
And
friend.
We're going to talk about this and
then
support
commit
you and how
to,
you can do
to
it.
each other. Maybe a child.
Yeah,
I
that's
was
true.
having breakfast this Sunday at my grandson's tennis tournament, and the amount of unhealthy people I was looking at was a little bit scary, Karen. I mean, it really concerned me, Reverend, and I guess that's why you and I are sitting here. A lot of people don't know, and that's the reason we're here to, to educate people about it.
Yes.
It's all about love.
And have them have
Yeah.
a holistic life.
Yeah,
a
but-
holistic life.
You got it.
Yes, so that spiritually, just
Yeah.
like your show is called,
Yeah.
Mind, Body, Spirit. The mind, the body you feel good, you're going to be healthy mentally, and spiritually you're going to be whole. Just come together and just be the wholesome person God intended for you to be.
Oh, beautiful words. I mean, this is just not going to work unless we bring spirituality into it.
And that's what I love about the Daniel Plan.
And the Daniel Plan, I mean, we have to congratulate the Reverend for bringing this
Oh,
out.
yes.
You know,
This was
we
good.
buy a few of his things, but he isn't charging much. And he's got a good website that you can look at and read the book. You can get it at the Christian bookstore, I
You
think.
sure can. You
And,
can.
and,
you can
and-
order it. In fact,
yeah.
you can order it off the
Yeah, and we're not selling books here.
Yeah.
We get nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
We
you
just
can order
we're giving away good health.
Yes.
by
Just
being,
making them aware.
yeah.
you know.
And the word physician means teacher. I'm just being a teacher.
And a good
I'll
teacher
admit
at
I love
that.
doing it, and I've seen a lot of good results. I've had people who have lost their diabetes
Oh, yeah.
because I got them to exercise and lose 20 pounds, and bang, their diabetes is gone.
Wow.
It doesn't take a lot.
Can you imagine?
People don't know that. Yeah, rarely do I talk to a person.
What impact that would
that-
have on a family and on that person?
You know, that's the point. It's the family. It's
Yes.
not just that person. It's their loved ones, their children.
Yes.
You mean, Dad, you're going to live another 20 years? You know what I mean? And then the children develop this. The children I was looking at this weekend, probably a diabetic. Yeah, I'm sure. They're probably diabetic. A lot of people are pre-diabetic and haven't been diagnosed yet. That's important too, that we recommend to get the blood work done.
Yeah. I know you talked about having that test, the
Yeah.
biometrics.
Biometrics.
Biometrics,
To have
yeah.
a blood test done. And I highly recommend that you get your serum insulin checked. Usually they check your blood sugar, your HbA1c, and that may be normal while your insulin level is elevated 10, 15 years before you get diabetes. That's, to me, I wrote a book on it coming out shortly called The Golden Opportunity. That's the golden opportunity to catch us even before pre-diabetes, and because once you're diabetic, that's stage 4 diabetes. Once your blood sugar's up.
Once you know, once you
Yeah,
get to that point
once you get to know,
where they
you're stage
diagnose
4.
you. Oh, man.
You know what the next step is? Death.
Oh,
For Pete's sake, we want to catch it way before
way
that.
before that. And
Yeah.
15 years? Can
15
you imagine?
years. So early testing
that's
is
significant.
critical. And if
Yeah.
they tell your doctor, I want my serum insulin done. Another good one to do is to check your very low density LDL. You know, we talk about the LDL cholesterol. Get the very low, and for that it's called NMR test. A lot of times that's not brought up because that would catch your inflammation in your body. Remember we talked about that? Your whole body is inflamed
Yes.
very early.
Oh.
We would prevent disease. So I think NMR test and the serum insulin, young in your age, sometimes 20, 25. You have an overweight child, 8, 15, 16.
Mm-hmm.
A significant number of children today are obese between age 2 and 6. Yeah. So repeated biometric testing, even at a young age. You grab your chest, have a heart attack at age 40. When do you think it began? At age 35? No. You know when it began, Reverend? People don't know that. The Begalusa study put out by a pediatrician, 40 years, he studied children that died of one reason or another.
Right.
Heart disease begins at age 2.
No
Yes.
way. Wow, 2.
Yeah, I asked it. I gave a lecture
That's
at one of the colleges
interesting.
recently, and I asked a
Who
college
would
student
think that early?
to make it dramatic, and I said, stand up, let me ask you this question. He said 35.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no reason for him to know. I just want to make it dramatic so people don't forget. It starts very early. So what you're eating as a teenager, even if you're skinny, get your blood checked.
Because there's still some things that could be going on.
You can be beautiful on the outside,
Yes,
yet have metabolic syndrome, abnormal cholesterol, fats, sugars in your blood, and you don't know it.
Well, that's
Oh yeah,
wonderful.
so repeated biometric testing demanded. If they will come back in 5 years, no, get once a year for most people. Get it done.
Well, this is wonderful, the
Yeah.
information you're giving. This
Yeah.
is what the Bible says, that my
Yeah.
people perish for lack of knowledge. So that's what you're doing. You're getting some knowledge out,
Yeah.
getting some information out.
It's based on love, isn't it? Ken?
Yeah, oh,
we love the people.
love the
It's
people.
not a judgment
serve
thing.
the
We
people.
just, but people
want to see them well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people must participate in their health care.
Yes.
That's number one, and I have sort of a wellness wheel of 8 things on it, you know. But number one on this wheel, we must learn to participate in our health care. We can't just say, here's the pill, here's the procedure, you know, unless you're dying or something and you need something done immediately. We need to participate.
Oh, thank you.
Know,
Thank you for
read
your commitment
and get
to
on the
wellness.
internet. Thank you. I mean, this is
Thank
going to be a
you.
wonderful
I'm
program.
excited.
Don't forget, May the 10th.
May the 10th.
11 o'clock,
11
public library,
Yes.
and
We're going to teach you how to eat well and support you while you do it. Plus, have a little
Yeah.
Bible study in,
A little
in
Bible
between.
study,
That'll
have
be
some
great.
fun
We'll
along
have
the
some
way,
fun along the way.
and make a lot of friends.
Yes.
This is about friendship.
We're all in this journey together, on a cohort journey
Exactly.
together.
Remember the 5 F's. Number 5 is friendship.
Friendship. Yes.
Focus, friendship, fitness. Maybe learn something about NEAT here. This is how to burn more calories in your routine activities around the house. And thank you so much for listening to us. We enjoyed this
And thank you,
presentation,
Dr. Cashman.
and watch our next show. And we're going to do this once a month, Karen, at least.
Yeah.
Besides teaching the course
Yes.
itself, and we'll have we'll announce it on TV
Oh, yeah.
where it'll
We'll
be
let you know.
taught,
Let you know in plenty of
and
time.
it's generally free, so you can't beat that.
No.
Would you say, Reverend, we love them all, don't we?
Oh, we love
You
them
know,
all. Yes,
yeah.
we do.
Thank you
Yes,
so
thank
much
you.
for listening. Namaste.
Yes.
And we'll see you at the next show, or maybe we'll see you on
Praying for
May the 10th.
Yes.
Thank you very much.